I'm with you. I agree. Brittany writes, you are right about that mentality. We are programmed to want punishment and retribution as opposed to empathy and forgiveness. That is not who we are, right? And we're also programmed to somehow believe that black people's pain, it's not real. You got to really, really, really come hard if you're going to hurt a black person. And that's why you see on some levels, you see police overreacting when they're dealing with black people. Like I saw a police officer, I believe he was a highway patrolman. Maybe you saw this video. It goes back up at least a couple of years. I don't know what led to this, but this woman in the middle of the interstate has a police officer, a state highway patrol officer like Chips. Think Chips. And he's on top of her with the long boots and all, and he just starts pummeling her in the face. Why is that necessary? Why is that necessary? P. Evans writes, I nominate the Toledo Blade newspaper editorial board for Gilligan of the Week. The paper indicated Toledians should boycott everything Cincinnati. Really? What? I'm not hip to that, but is that right? That's ridiculous. Yes, I did say put some water on it. Yes, I did say rub some dirt on it. Yes, I do say that to my children, really. Rub some dirt on it, kid. You'll be fine. You'll be fine because I don't want to overly sensitize them, okay? And I don't want to set myself up to have to do stuff later on because I'm doing it now, okay? Go get a Band-Aid, all right? You'll be okay. Oh, let me see that. Okay, finger's still there. Good. Run it under some water, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. What else? SSDI claim? Is that what it is? Social Security Disability Insurance, right? SSDI, right. Thank you. Oh, man. Charles writes, the Zoo IMO is the Gilligan of the week by themselves because, pardon me, because even if a child does not get away from a parent, I know it's never happened to be the perfect parents, there is no way he should be able to breach the enclosure, period. Yeah. That great minds think alike, Charles. It doesn't matter. No child should be able to breach the enclosure. I like the way he phrased that. He's absolutely correct. Brent writes, we do have post-traumatic slave disorder. Yeah, I'm sure we do. But then when you go to try to make a claim for it, nobody wants to pay you out for that. They don't want to recognize it. Jane writes, Nate, I had some friends in the 70s, went to Norwood, got jumped. One was stabbed in the eye. The other two have metal plates in the head. Well, maybe it's not a myth. Maybe it's real. Just from walking through Norwood? Mike writes, some of these people sound like they don't have kids. Incarceration Nation has caused people to lose common sense. Ding, 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 he's right. Brittany writes, Nate, a lot of blacks are just trained to think like that. Hurt one another, not stand up or look out for one another. Not all blacks think like that, but it's enough that do. Shaking my head. Brent writes, if you go through many of the townships in this city, you will get that work from these cops. I don't want that work. Jericho writes, I don't believe that we're here in the chop shop are ignoring the emotions of the mother's trauma. What we are highlighting is the role that the mother played in failing to properly supervise her child. If my child says, I want to get in the gorilla pit, I'm not going to just say no. I'm going to physically place my hands on my child and move them away from the damn gorilla exhibit. What I am not going to do is turn my back on my child at the damn gorilla exhibit. That's Jericho. I get it, but let's say you grab your child, you pull your child away, 5 minutes later, boom, he's right back on it. I know that's how my son is. When we take things from him that he wants, you know what he does? We put him behind us on the couch. He tries to walk around us and get it. What I've noticed about him is that when I turn my attention, in the minutes afterward, I think it's over with, it's still on his radar screen. He still wants it. And as soon as I make a move and he can see it, he tries to go back and get it. That's probably what happened with this child, Jerica. Here's my question to you then, Jerica. I agree. The mother If she had been watching her child more closely, it wouldn't have happened. We get it. But at this point, what do you want the legal system to do? And what is that going to serve? Kids are still going to get away from their parents. Parents are still going to be, sometimes distracted. Brian wants to know, when is the press conference? Me too. When is the press conference? Brittany writes, I have had a roundtable discussion at work all week, and I raised the question, does race play a factor in this incident with the gorilla? My white friend said, absolutely not. My black friend said, of course race plays a part in this whole thing. Damn, we are still disconnected. Black people and white people. Are there any white people in the chop shop this morning? It makes no difference to me. Your opinion is what really matters to me, not your race. But just to ask that question, is that in fact true? Is there a schism in how white and black people see this? White people, generally speaking, never tend to, or they say they never see color in situations. It's not there. And black people tend to always see color. It's always race. Who's right? Karamir writes, Joe Dieters is not going to charge the zoo lady because the zoo was at fault. Zoos are designed to attract children. They should be accident-free and zoo-friendly. You're right about that, because I'm sure not attracted to the zoo. Or like as an adult. Like the most adult attraction they have is the Festival of Lights, and I've been able to successfully resist that for years. I don't want to walk around the cold and look at lights. I don't want to do that. I'm sure it's a great and wonderful experience for you and yours. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. Okay, if something should change in the near future, like the good folks at Cincinnati Zoo, they want to do business with us here at the Nathan Ivey Show, I love it. I love it. But until then, I will speak very freely about it. WPPI, sweet tea, and cool candy. Good morning, everyone. Our first time listening. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Welcome to the Chop Shop. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. We broadcast live at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Glad to have you. In our chat room, the Chop Shop. Charles writes, race only became an issue once it was revealed that the child was indeed black. When people thought he was white, they said nothing. Yeah, I can understand why you feel that way. Mila J writes, and good morning, Mila. She writes, they're charging the little dealers around here, so charge princess dealers. James writes, $1 zoo tickets, I believe June 2nd. Check it out. Now, is that going to give them enough time to make sure that each and every enclosure is childproof? Because I need to know before I go back. Just saying. Monique writes, right, Karamia, the mother's only crime, if we should even call it that, is being distracted and taking her eyes off of her child. I mean, none of us have never done that before. Yeah, right. No charge. I feel you. James writes, I must say congratulations to my homeboy, Mr. Tony Carter, named the new UC police chief. Is that right? Hey, James, you got some connects, man. Let's get him here on the show. Let's get him into the Chop Shop. He's got a big task. Because not only, as I see that position, at this position, one element of that position is going to be, you're going to be now the face of a department that a lot of people know what happened with Mr. Sam Dubose. I would imagine that he's going to want to do some community engagement. I can imagine that. And when he decides to do that, James, let him know. Let me know. All my contacts on my website, Nathan Ivey. You can find me there. Kenny writes, I'm not going to front. I did say at first to charge the mother. However, with all the nonsense going on, I have changed my mind. The mother should not be charged. She should not be charged. Deborah writes, Donald Trump is still a Gilligan. Yes, he is. Just sit right back. Sit right back. I'll tell you the tale of a man with a bad hairdo, and it appears a lot of money. By the way, we don't really know if he has a lot of money because the man won't release his tax returns. Donald Trump is awfully good at calling people's names. He's good at that. Right? Little Rubio, Lion Ted, Silly Elizabeth. He's got every name in the book. But does that mean he can govern? Can you govern by name calling? I like to see that done. Tracy writes, Nate, the fake ass animal lovers are coming for you. LOL. Oh no. Oh no. Fake ass animal lovers. There's a difference between loving animals and loving having an animal. It's a big difference. Pat writes, people are quick to judge others. Let it like it could not happen to them. You never know until an accident happens. She's right. Dare writes, Nate, you hit some nerves on the so-called animal lovers with pets living in apartments, LOL. But it's my sentiments exactly. Yeah. I see these people, it's like a tiny strip of green space down on the parkway. I really wish the city would do something about it. Because why would you have this beautiful Central Parkway, and then you look over, you stop at a light, and you see somebody with a werewolf on a leash, and, you know, it's doing what a dog does. I don't get it. I don't get it. Give me a cat. Give me some fighting fish. That's right. I said fighting fish. I want to see the fish fight. Give me some carnivorous fish any single day of the week. That's my kind of animal. Why? I can look at you. You can't get out. You got some entertainment value for me. And, you know, studies show it's very soothing to look at fish in a fish tank. I need that in my life. But I don't have to walk you. You're not walking around in my house. I like that. Tracy writes, gold star for Jerica. Pat writes, living in an apartment, ? Save the money used to feed the dogs and getting dog shots. Save that money to buy property, then get a dog. I'm just saying. I agree with you. I just can't wait to get a dog. My wife was like that when we first got together. She just had to have a cat, and I didn't want any kittens. Why? Because I knew I was going to end up taking care of them. And that's exactly what happened. That woman didn't never change no litter, man. It was me. And I don't know about you. I like my home space to be a little bit in a certain way. If you want to call that OCD, then call it whatever the hell you want to call it. I just know that I want my house to look, feel, and smell a certain way when I walk into it. And it got to the point where this cat was taking over. I open the door, I'm overwhelmed with cat aromas. That's not the way I want to come home to my house. And I'll never forget the day when I put my foot down. Boom! Put my foot down. I'm the man. These cats are leaving today. Okay, I had to do that. And I'm very proud of myself. Pretty proud of myself. So I packed the cats up and I took them over to the where you take the cats, SPCA, I think it was, over on the north side area. And that was it. I ain't never looked back. And she tricked me to do it again many years later. This woman and these animals. She tricked me many years later. And she's, oh, my friend's got a kitten. I told my wife, I said, listen, you cannot bring an animal into your house until your animal has been, you got to make sure the animal has no fleas. You got to make sure the animal's had every shot possible. You don't just get straight. Who the hell is doing that in 2016? Just taking stray animals from other people. So if a woman at her job had some kittens, and the woman told my wife that the kittens had already had shots. Now, I know one thing. You're not giving no newborn kitten no damn shots. I knew that off the top. So when my wife said this, I'm like, babe, she wouldn't listen to me. You want to know what happened? The cat had fleas in the house. In my home. In my home. And if you know anything about me, that is very unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And they never bit my wife, but they bit the hell out of me. I had to pay people to come to the house several times. We had to throw certain, furniture, if you want to call it, rugs away. I was not happy. And that was the last time I've ever had to ever deal with that conversation about animals in the house. That's the only silver lining in that story. It's a real story right there. It's animals. No. Nate, I think you hold a perfect parent award contest in a chop shop. Have everyone post pictures of their awards, the one with the most wins. Sarcasm. I get it. Someone writes, Jericho, you are a hardcore, LOL. I can tell you are an advocate for responsible parenting, but I'm about to give you a sickle